Hello everyone, this is David Bibby here. I'm currently working on a series of videos regarding my coding challenges. This is for coding in C#. I'm learning how to code day by day, as well as doing it live with these videos. So I signed up for a site called the Daily Coding Challenge, or Daily Coding Problem, I should say. Every day they send me an email with a new coding challenge, and it's up to me to perform it in the way I guess I know how. It might not always be the best way. Ideally, this is for interview clients or interview candidates who want to get a job in software engineering. I'm definitely not at that level yet, so I'm going to learn as I go. So I did receive my first email, and I'm going to read off the coding problem to you. So the coding problem number 1, given a list of numbers and a number k, return whether any two numbers from the list add up to k. For example, if you have 10, 15, 3, and 7, and you have an extra number k of 17, this returns true, since two of the numbers, 10 and 7, add up to 17. And can you do this in one pass? I'm not sure exactly what that means. Does that mean, I program it once and then run it, and if it works, then I pass? Otherwise, probably not. I don't know if I can do this in one pass. Pretty sure that I could do the problem, though, because I did it as a mental exercise. I wrote all this here on my blog post, so in my head I had already thought about the solution. So if I had an array of numbers, and I just want to know that one of them is going to return true, so if 17 and 3 add up to 20, I know that that is a true statement, and it would work. So what I'm thinking of doing is making a loop to loop through this array. We'll start by grabbing the number 4 and then adding 4 to all the other numbers in the array. After it does that whole pass, it's going to grab the next number, 6, and then add the remaining numbers in the array. I don't need to add 4 back to 6 again because I already tested it. Since 4 plus 6 is the same thing as 6 plus 4, there's no need to have the second pass go and look at the number 4 a second time. With that, I'm going to go ahead and try to start coding this. So I start with an empty coding screen. This is in Visual Studio Code. So what I'll do is I'll go to this window and I have an empty program. This step's not necessary, but I'm going to call this daily program challenge. So to get started, I guess what I want to do is I want to look at those numbers and create that array. So I'm going to start out by making the array. So I'll start out with an integer array and just call it array. And this is going to be a new integer array with the values. And in my problem, I have 4, 6, 13, 8, 17, 3, and 9. All right, so that's how I'm going to initialize the array. I'm also going to create a new integer k, and that is going to be the number 20. So that's the number I decided to check for to see if any of the numbers in the array, any two numbers add up to 20. All right, so we're starting with that. And then we're going to work on building the loops. So first loop is going to be a for loop, and I will use I as my iterator. I of 0. I has to be less than the array's length. And we will add 1 to the array, or add 1 iterator each time. So I++, this is pretty standard. If you're already a software engineer, this is going to be extremely boring for you, although it might be entertaining to see me mess up on this. So the next thing I think what I want to do to start with is a console write line, just to make sure that it iterates through the array like I expect it to, and I'd like it to just go ahead and just list all the numbers out in the array, just to start out with. All right, so if that looks good, I will start up a terminal and do a .NET run. If I did that part right, it should just give me all the numbers that are in the array and just list them out. Okay, it did. It listed all the numbers, and it also gave me a warning that the variable k it's defined, but it's not used. I haven't started using the variable k yet, so that warning comes up. That's a good thing. Okay, so we know that part works. Oops, I did not mean to do that. There we go. We'll just comment that out. The next thing I want to do is, so when we're going into this loop, the first number it grabs is the number 4. And now I want to add 4 to all the other numbers in the array. So instead of printing out the number 4 like I did before, I think what I need to do now is add that into a variable, and we'll call this first, basically the first number. Integer first equals array I. All right, so that at least holds the first value, the number 4. And now I'm going to build a second loop. This time I don't want to start with a 0. I want to start with the next item. So it's whatever I is plus 1. And that'll mean, so if I is 0, then j will start out with 1. And it is also going to go until it reaches the end of the array. So we're going to go to the array's length. And then we're going to iterate on that. So, and just like doing that before, I'm going to get a second number so we can add the first number and the second numbers together and see if they equal to k. So this one's going to be array j. And so we have a second number. Now we're going to test to see whether or not they add up to k or not. So let's see what happens if we try this. So we have an if statement. If first plus second equals k, then we're going to console write line. Let's do, I'm going to build a string here. First plus second equals k. And is that going to be true or false? So we want to make sure that it is true if it is. So this is checking to see if it is true. And if it's true, then we're going to write that out. If it's false, then I'm just going to write it out anyway, but I'm going to say false. Okay, so I think we are ready to try it out now. So let's we'll save this and run it. .NET run. Okay, we got a bunch of different responses. I don't like how the numbers are stringed together, so I'll make sure I fix that next time. But it goes through. 4 plus 6 equals 20. That's false. All of these are false, except there should be a 17 plus 3 here, which is true. So that's the only one that mattered. That's the one we were looking for. So in this original problem, we just want to return the ones that are true. So I'll actually just get rid of this console write line and just kind of comment it out. So, I could actually just erase it, in fact. So if it's true, just go ahead and spit that out. What if there were no matches? Then it wouldn't return anything, and that's kind of lame. So I think I would like to have basically a match, a number of matches. So I'll have an integer for matches, and I'll set that to 0 to start with. And if you return true, then we're going to add another value to it. So we should have one match. And at the end of the program, I like to write out how many matches are found. So we'll do a console write line. There were matches found. Might say 0 matches found, might say 1 matches found. So in this case, I expect to see 1 matches found. Let's see. I need to actually put this inside one of my code blocks here. So let me pretty up this code real quick. There we are. So inside of, right after my for loops are done, that's where I'll put the console write line. It didn't like putting it very, very end of the program. Okay, so let's try .NET Run. It should only show me the true match and tell me that there was matches found. Build failed. I needed an exclamation point, or semicolon there. Okay, my computer just crashed a little bit ago. I had just added a semicolon to it, and then my recording software bombed out. So I'm back to where I was. So I've just added the semicolon. So I'm about to run the program. What I'm expecting to happen is that it's only going to give me the match that's true, and then also tell me how many matches it found. So let's go ahead and run that. I'm going to start a new terminal. Type in .NET Run. I'm expecting to get 1 match, and that match should be 17 plus 3 equals 20. True. And there were 1 matches found. So if I'm going back to look at the array, if I add another number or change one of these numbers so that something else adds up to 20, that will also be a match, and it should also come back. So I could take number 8, and if I added another number 12, that would be a match. And I also, if I took the number 9 and added it to 11, that would also match. So that's potentially 3 matches right there. So I'm going to say that, and I'm going to go ahead and run the program again. .NET Run. So it's going to go through those arrays. It found that 8 plus 12 equals 20. That's true. 17 and 3 is true. 9 and 11 is true. And there were 3 matches found. So that is basically the first coding challenge problem that I worked on. I got these from it's called Daily Coding Program. Either .com or .net, I'm really not sure. I'll go back and look into that, but They will email you one coding problem per day. And it might start you off with this one, or it might start you off with another one. I'm really not sure if the series of emails that they give you is the same for every subscriber, or if every day new subscribers are just getting the next day's coding problem. So you might get this one if you subscribe, or you might get something else. I'm not really sure. But I intend to make a video for each of the coding problems that I get, and hopefully over time I'll become a better programmer, and one day even be a software engineer at a reputable company. So that's the dream. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.